What's going on, guys? Welcome to Dime Dropper, episode 57 of our 24-minute recaps. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on all platforms at YouTube at Dime Dropper Podcast. Make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, and of course, to follow us on all social media platforms at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Dime Dropper Pod. So for tonight's episode, we're going to go through both the LA teams in the win column tonight. So great night for Los Angeles. And then we're going to talk about last night's Celtics-Rockets game very briefly since they're another Tier 1 Dime Dropper team. I'll briefly go over the Hawks and their 5-0 run under Nate McMillan. And I'll also, that's all that I have on the agenda tonight. I'll also be sharing the worst Twitter take I saw today. It was bad. That should be about it. So let's get to it. Clippers, after that terrible performance last night against the Pelicans, had a point to prove. We're undefeated on the second half of back-to-backs this season. We have only lost one. I think we only have one time where we've lost back-to-back games at all this season. And the intensity was different from the jump. We had some adjustments made. Marcus Morris Sr. is now permanently starting over Batum going forward. So it looks like Ty Lue wanted another shot creator out there. So bringing Morris into the starting lineup is going to give us that. And I still think Batum is going to be able to do what he can do off the bench. And then Serge was out with the back tightness from yesterday alongside Bev, who's already out. So we had Zoo starting. So it was more similar to the look we had in the bubble with Morris, Zoo, Reggie Jackson, Kawhi, and Paul. And I loved it. Ivica Zubac plays so much better as a starter than he does off the bench. And I said in the beginning of the season how I was nervous that if Zoo came off the bench, he would lose his confidence. And if we're being quite honest, Zoo has not been the same player this year. And a lot of that is that confidence. Sometimes he looks like Kwame Brown out there. The way his ball just slips out of his hands. But tonight, he was assertive on both ends of the floor. The Mavericks started out doing a lot of switching, and I thought Paul George was getting some good looks, both for himself and Zoo in the first quarter. A couple times, Zoo got a good matchup underneath where he was bigger than somebody, nice mismatch, and he went up strong. I even saw a nice jump hook today, a nice dunk, going up strong, finishing strong, not that bitch stuff I saw yesterday, little fairy shots, not wanting to go into contact. So we set the tone well there, but Luka still had a good first quarter and kept things somewhat at bay for Dallas in the first. But up by 8 after 1, Kawhi came out with the right attitude. He was guarding Luka for large stretches of the game, and he just seemed to have a different body language. Same with Paul George, the squad in general, even Reggie Jackson. Everybody seemed, we need to make up for that loss. That's the one thing I do like about the Clippers. The only problem is I don't like that it takes them a bad game a lot of the time to play like this. The one positive, though, is since the All-Star break, we've had 3 consecutive games with Paul George and Kawhi. Knock on wood that they continue this way. Because as I said, the only way that we can overcome a potential, I said we need to make a trade to get out of the second round. The only way we can overcome that is health for the rest of the season, and mainly with Kawhi and Paul. So at least those three games in a row is a good sign. I thought that the bench came in, and I thought that they did a good job of, not losing grip of the game. I feel as though we always had control, even though the Mavs in the second quarter started to play well. And I thought I saw some good stuff from Porzingis this game. I saw some more, getting into the mid-range area and taking advantage of size once or twice. And I thought that was a lot better from him, but he's not aggressive enough for me whatsoever. And a couple times he had Kawhi, on a switch, and you got to give Kawhi credit. He guarded anybody he could tonight. This was the type of performance that I want to see from our best player. This is the type of performance that I thought we were going to get when we get Kawhi on both ends of the floor. And you know what I think about Kawhi? I've said it many episodes in the past, that when Kawhi's locked in defensively from the start of the game and guarding better players, he tends to just have a better game overall. It's like he's more engaged and the team just feeds off of it. And I just loved the mentality he brought to the game today. And in the second quarter, Paul George in the lineup without Kawhi was doing really poorly in terms of scoring. But there was a moment to me that was a really big moment here in his Clipper career. He was really just bricking and turning the ball over and forcing it. And he looked like he was getting really frustrated with himself. Like he was throwing his arms up. He threw the ball at the padding under the basket. And then I was like, man, we got to take Paul George out. Like he's becoming a detriment right now in this game. He's losing his confidence by the second. He comes back the next play. He asks for the ball. This is like mid-second quarter. He gets into the post. He turns over the right shoulder and hits. And I was like, wow. He really didn't shy away from that moment. He wanted the ball. Even after he was struggling, he was pissed off. I'm pissed off. I love that. That's what I want to see from Paul George. Those are the little things that are going to make me just like him a lot more. Because even if he goes 5 of 18 like tonight and misses shots, I want to see the fight. And Paul George still did good things on the court tonight on the defensive end. Our defense was just massively stepped up. I mean, this is a team that scores a lot of points in Dallas. They had last year the most efficient offense in history statistically. They scored only 99 points tonight. That's in today's NBA, that's a good defensive job, keeping a team under 100. And I thought that started with our leaders. I thought Batum came in off the bench and gave us a nice spark. 12 points, 4 of 6. All of his shots were threes, but he knocked them down, 2 of them in the first half. So I thought he was good. I thought Pat Patterson came in and gave us 7 minutes of decent play offensively. Got in the post, hit an open 3. He had 5 points. And Lou was really the X factor for me tonight. I thought in the fourth quarter, he really, I just thought overall he attacked. He went downhill on pick and rolls against a big guy in drop coverage. He hit some floaters. He just made big plays. And most importantly, despite the fact that the Mavericks tried to target him on defense in the fourth quarter, he stood up to the challenge. He got a steal in the post. I mean, Porzingis needs to do a better job of learning how to seal guys and getting big in the post and like really sealing guys and demanding the ball, because Kawhi was able to front his ass too much. And that shouldn't be a thing. He's 6'7". I don't care how strong he is. And Lou Williams is stealing the ball from him on the entry. So that's not good enough from a big. You need to be more. You're 7'3", bruh. 7'3". Put your arms up. Get in position. Do you have these fundamental skills? Anyway, yeah, I don't want to hear any of these loading up zone defense bullshit excuses for these bigs. Get out of here. Anyway, Luka basically choked for us. I thought our defense, Kawhi in the fourth quarter, he was everywhere. I mean, he was ready to rotate. He had this mentality that he was going to get the win tonight. I just want to see that more consistently. I want to see that when we weren't really put in that tough a spot tonight. I think the Mavs made a run and Luka made it pretty easy with some of the ridiculous shots he was taking. And you know what? I haven't even talked about this yet, but Ivica Zubac is the complete player of the game, not just because of the offensive stuff, which he continued. He rebounded. He had 11 rebounds and 15 points. 4 offensive rebounds, but mainly he switched on to Luka multiple times, whether it was a late switch when Luka was going downhill, and we saw that a lot in the playoffs last year. It's great to switch Zubac on to Luka when he's already past the foul line, because he's a lot like Giannis and LeBron in the sense that he doesn't really have counters when he's going downhill, but he has more than them. Sometimes he'll stop on a dime and turn or pivot or pump fake, but he is still vulnerable sometimes. I shouldn't say he doesn't have any counters. He does, but it's easy to catch him sometimes, just trying to go downhill and trying to draw fouls or throw some BS up, that when he sees Zoo, sometimes he doesn't really know what to do. And Zoo does a really good job standing his ground, because when Luka goes downhill, he doesn't beat you with speed. He beats you with strength. And you can't outstrength Zoo at 6'7". You are going to have to, not consistently. Zoo's going to have that. He has great verticality. He's strong. So Zoo struggles with quicker guys in space, not as much with the strength of a Luka Doncic. So even on the perimeter, he was able to contain him at times. So Ivica Zubac, for me, the player of the game. And by the way, to see Paul George hit a big 3 at the end of the game, despite the night he had, was I know this is going to sound crazy and don't get too into it, but very Kobe-esque, shooting 5 of 18, but hitting the shot that counts. We don't see that from Paul George very often. And you saw his reaction when he hit it. That means a lot. And hopefully that can get him a little nice run of confidence going forward. But that's the game. It was a great bounce back win for the Clips, a resilient win. Reggie Jackson also contributed with some nice open shots and open threes. He had 12 points on 5 of 11 from the field and 2 of 4 from 3. Kawhi, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals. You could argue he was the player of the game tonight. 22 points, 9 of 20, 1 of 5 from 3. The only thing I'll say is, as I said about Kawhi, and he said it himself in the presser yesterday, consistency. That starts with you, bro. That starts with you as a leader. Tonight you brought it. On both ends. Zubac, we already talked about it, 15 and 11, 7 of 8. So, by the way, I'm all in on the Zoo should start train. I mean, Serge Ibaka came off the bench when Toronto won the championship, and I think he can do it again. And I think that Zoo's chemistry with Kawhi and Paul, especially Kawhi, is just so much better. But that's it for the Clips. We shot 44% from the 3 today as well, 14 of 32, not taking too many. Another guy I didn't shout out, Marcus Morris Sr. He started and he did a great job just doing his thing. He had his worst game of the season yesterday, but he was making his shots, the contested shots that we've become so accustomed to Mook hitting. 14 points on 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, so not great from 3, maybe 1 or 2 ill-advised ones, but 6 boards and 4 assists to contribute as well. Clippers win at 109-99. Move on to 26-15. Dallas drops to 20-18. Not much from the other guys. Porzingis finished with 22-7 on 9 of 14 from the field. Half of his shots were threes. Don't like that. He needs to get the ball more. He needs to be more decisive. He needs to be more assertive, getting post position and commanding it. He's too soft. He needs to get physical, put pressure on the officials to make a call for you. Luka Doncic, we did a good job on him. He has his stats, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 16 assists, 7 turnovers, 9 of 23 from the field, 4 of 11 from 3. He can keep on doing his thing. His thing will possibly have him out of the playoffs, even though I still think they're going to make it. But does that mean San Antonio doesn't make it? That's the real question. Tim Hardaway Jr. contributed again. Another good game against the Clippers like we saw in the glorified Summer League. 21 points on 8 of 12 from the field and 5 of 9 from 3. Let's move on to the Lakers against the Warriors. We've seen this matchup twice now, and the Lakers got their number in the last matchup. But with AD, they lost to the Warriors at the Staples Center. But the Lakers have been a great road team this season, and it wasn't much different tonight. The Lakers have done a great job of making sure that Steph Curry does not get off on them since that first time when he started going off in the second half at Staples Center. They forced the ball out of his hands, and Draymond Green, he didn't have the goods tonight. I watched a good amount of their game against Utah yesterday, Golden State, and they did not play like this at all. They play like a totally different team on both ends of the floor. They didn't come to play tonight. And, I'm not going to take away from the Lakers. We'll get into their side of things as well. But remember, both of these teams are dime dropper teams, so I got to talk about it from both sides. And the Warriors didn't play tonight. Like they did, straight up did not come out to play. And quite frankly, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. We're gonna be toning down the NBA coverage for a little bit, and we're gonna start when the tournament starts. Even though I'm not the college basketball aficionado, man, I love March Madness. I love the NCAA tournament. I do know some things, and I'll be able to learn quick. And man, I love seeing real defense, real fight, real intensity from the players. March Madness, you're gonna get all-out fight every single possession, which is not what you see in the No Defense Association. So let's continue, though. The Warriors didn't come out to play tonight. I'm quite frankly sick of seeing so many of these teams not even show up to the game. And the Lakers, though, defensively did a great job stopping Steph, and the rest took care of itself. They did a really good job rotating to other guys and making sure that their shots weren't wide open. But you also have to look at it from this perspective. Kevon Looney, not a floor spacing big, not a skilled offensive big in any in any way. Draymond Green is not doing classic, not shooting the ball. 0 of 3 from the field. Like, that's just not going to get it done. 3 shots. Yeah, 2 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Not good enough. Draymond had a triple-double in the last game, and I saw some statistic. I don't remember off the top of my head, but the Warriors are like so much like 10-1 or something along those lines with Draymond scoring more than 8 points. So Draymond needs to be a threat in some way, especially when you have Kevon Looney out there. He's not an offensive player. Andrew Wiggins was kept at bay, 15 points on 5 of 9 from the field. Kelly Oubre, 12 points, just very pedestrian. Steph Curry played great in the first half, but in the second half, they just kind of folded. You got to give the Lakers credit on the defensive end, though. They were sharp. I mean, Kuzma, again, another great performance. 17 points. He was plus 26 off the bench. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, just doing all the little things, rebounding, cutting. Like, again, KCP tonight. This is what you want to see if you're a Laker fan. He seems to make a huge difference when he plays well. I've said it so many times. KCP, 14 points. He was cutting. He was running. And the Lakers just got a lot of easy baskets tonight. 20 dunks. That comes from the defense. They communicate. And then, of course, you got to give the credit to the captain. LeBron James, it was a cruise control first half, but he did a good job of just backing off. Montrader was playing great, finishing everything around the basket. And then you see LeBron in the second half get a little more assertive. That turnaround over the right shoulder, he's got that down pat, and he was hitting it for the most part. And then he tried the heat check one, but Wiggins kind of predicted it. But he was getting hot, and he just had a great game. Both ends of the floor, took some charges, good rotations, he knows with right now, the Warriors, they're not predictable at all. It's you just double team Steph and trap him on pick and rolls, and you make them, play 4-on-3s with everybody else, and then you try to split the difference as much as you can, cover as much ground as possible, rotate to the right guys, and hopefully, first of all, get the ball in the person you want's hand, which is usually like a Kelly Oubre or a Wiggins shoot or Draymond shooting a three, or even better, they are indecisive and you get back to your man and rotate in time. And the Lakers did a lot of that tonight. And so LeBron, though, the one thing I will say is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous with the, he makes a three, he's up 25 points in the game. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, LeBron, you're done for the night. You've had a great game. You are, so valuable to this team and have been playing a lot of minutes. And don't give me that he says he doesn't get tired BS, because he literally rested like a couple games after that. But, the health is of the utmost importance, but he wants to stay in to get a triple-double. And I saw the reaction of the bench. I saw he stayed in specifically for that and checked out. So for all you guys that want to tell me he doesn't care about his stats and like, no, other people do that too, get the fuck out of here and shut up, okay? I don't want to hear the excuse-making. It doesn't matter. It's just, I'm just stating a fact. It doesn't have it. He's still the best player in the NBA, all this stuff. It's just a fact. Don't get butthurt. Already LeBron fans on Twitter, they get to cry at every mention. I don't want to see the YouTube comments, but I guarantee there will be some, because you say something bad about LeBron, everybody gets in there like on their period. But at the end of the day, I just think that's just lame. Like, why do you need to get another triple-double after all the triple-doubles you've got? But I think that, keeping it real, though, LeBron's MVP case with Embiid going down has gotten much higher again. And, it may be – you may have to say maybe the front runner again, either him or Harden, right? I honestly think either him, Harden, or Jokic. I think Kawhi is just a little bit below those guys. I think he needs more consistency. And right now, as I said, whoever's above in the records between the Lakers and the Clips, I think that should be higher in the MVP race. So I think LeBron right now may have to be number one on my MVP race after Embiid went down. That still being said, he's a stat pattern. He really cares about it, and that was really weird. Anyway, let's read the lines, though. 22, 10, and 11 for LeBron, 8 of 13. Great performance from him. A plus 33, the most in the game. LeBron was just having his way with those boys tonight. Made it look too easy. But Markieff Morris, 7 points. He was just decent. Didn't play too much, 16 minutes. Montrader, 27 points, 5 rebounds. You've got to give him credit. He's been fantastic with Anthony Davis out. And then a great THT night tonight. 18 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists, getting into the lane and making plays. Just a very, very motivated Laker team tonight. And, what is it, 2-0 since they came back from the All-Star? They're looking pretty good right now. And they're really priding themselves on that defensive end. Anyway, Lakers move on to 26-13. 128-97 is the final from the Chase Center. The Warriors drop to 20-20. Let's end it with the Celtics briefly against the Rockets. I watched their game last night. The Rockets are just straight up terrible. They've lost, I think, 16 in a row. They are just completely chucking. But you got to give the Celtics, credit for coming out with the right loss to Brooklyn. And Tristan Thompson was just great. He was getting every rebound. He was finishing around the basket, getting big. That classic, like Tristan Thompson only has like one move on offense. He just goes in and stiff arms a guy with the left hand and tries to truck him and then puts up a little floater. He has decent touch around the rim. Jason Tatum, I thought he took over towards the end of that third quarter. I thought the second quarter was it was just a score fest in the beginning of the game. But just a score fest in the beginning of the game. But then Jaylen Brown in the second quarter was cooking, bringing the whole repertoire, getting to the rim, mid-range area, a little fancy action, sidestep, step back. Semi Ojeleye, thought he brought it. Played a lot of minutes because the Celtics went smaller. Tice only played 6 minutes in the game because the Rockets, without Christian Wood, they went a lot of small ball and a lot of just three-point shooters who just bricked incessantly. 16 of 50 from 3 for the Rockets. That is ridiculous. Absolutely horrible basketball. They made it so easy for Boston. But Ojeleye was able to knock down the open 3 too, which was very, you need that because you know what he's going to get, what you're going to get from him on defense. He was sliding his feet, doing his job, staying in front of guys. 9 points on 3 of 6, and all of those shots were threes, plus 28, the highest of any Celtic. But I thought that there was a phase where Kemba was getting off a little bit. But he was only 4 of 11, but he still had a good game. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, doing the right things, playing good D. And then Jason Tatum towards the end of the third quarter and ended with a buzzer beater. The Celtics outscored the Rockets 38-19 in the third, which was the difference in making this a blowout. Tatum with 23 points. Good bounce back win for the Celtics. 134-107 the final last night from Houston. The Celtics go on to 20-18, the Rockets 11-26. Now, very briefly, I'm going to talk about the Atlanta Hawks, one of our dime dropper teams who are 5-0 under new coach Nate McMillan. And part of the reason that is because health. Gallinari's back, and he's averaging 17 points in the month of March. I said it so many times that when, keeping Gallo involved, make sure he's incorporated. And I think Trey has done a better job since the new coach has come of taking a step back. The other day, he scored only 14 points. John Collins at 22 and 12. That's what I want to see. That's the type of thing that will actually make players better. You chill for a night. Let John Collins have his night. That's better from Trey. I want to see that. And the Hawks are 5-0. Bogdanovich is back. It's starting to click. And maybe it's showing, I'm not going to say I was wrong. Oh, Trey, it wasn't his fault. It was the coach. No, Trey definitely contributed to some of the faults and losses of this team. But it's showing that the coach was the bigger fault. And the bigger flaw was coaching and injuries. DeAndre Hunter's still yet to come back. But the main thing with the Hawks is you still got to give Trae Young the benefit of the doubt. He's younger than me by a couple months. So, this kid is going to learn. He's going to learn. And the Hawks, I think if they continue to just take care of business, by the way, Rondo's back too, and he's starting to play a little bit consistent run of games, hopefully, they can get into that playoffs. I think they're a better team than the Hornets. Even though they're 0-2 against them this season, I'm still going to stick by it. They're better than the Hornets. But anyway, that's it for me tonight. 2 minutes short of the 24-minute recap. Let me know what you think. I'm going to go to the live chat now with the subscribers. Make sure to drop $1 or a dime. Super chats turned on. Peace. What's up, y'all? What is up? Beast TV, if you want to you don't bring facts. You literally just bring pro Lakers stuff or pro LeBron stuff. So nobody respects what you have to say, buddy. Okay, Corey 2K. Be ashamed of yourself wearing that 24 jersey and thinking LeBron's the GOAT. I didn't get to that Julius Randle, that Knicks Nets. I got to watch that after, though. I'm going to watch that after, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. LOL, hate us because they ate us. 17 championships to 0. Get original, Beast TV. Yes, Kuzma, you have been going off lately. Yes, Kawhi did unleash himself. Yeah, James Wiseman did not look good tonight. I didn't want to get on him too much. I should have said something, though. He was poor. He was missing jump hooks. Needs more run of games. Goat man. Yeah, that's him. Oh, the Domeless brothers. You guys would not win nothing in a 2v2. You guys are youngins. That's facts. That's facts, Beast TV. The same Warriors beat you guys. The same Warriors team beat you guys. And the Clippers are 1-0 against the Lakers this season, so tell me that. Six two 200. 200 pounds is a lot, bruh. Oh, Roberto Espino. Goat man. Roberto Espino. You guys loving that twerk. All right. Michael Taw's recollection of that stream is so funny. There's a lot of teams in college basketball in LA, man. Did Bulls fans always have excuses in the 90s, Edgar Rowe? Really? Nah, that'd be sound. I don't have neighbors that are always partying at night, Maniac Lane. What's up, J Love? Yeah, I don't know why the Rockets keep shooting threes either. Oh, man. What's good? 8 Buzzsaw. Is that J Pat? 8 Buzzsaw? Yeah, we can hide Beast TV. Yes, Jackson Hayes did boom Reggie. I'm doing all right, J Love. We won tonight, so I'm okay. Kawhi has little to no chance of being top 10 all time. That's a very elite class. I don't think you guys understand how good those players were or are. You're seeing it with LeBron. Don't act like LeBron is some like he's on a different planet than the rest of the top 10. That top 10, they're all incredible players. And it's a very tough to be on that, man. It's not like it's easy to just break through that. I don't think it's very easy to break through that. Julius is solid. I heard the refs bailed out the Nets. What else is new about the refs? Oh, man. Am I going to be going off about Plumber Jim tomorrow, guys? Am I going to be going off about the ref baiting? Okay, Mazza. We just know you're BSing because nobody that actually grew up watching MJ would say something like that. You did miss me go over the games already, Liberated Warrior, but I'll be off soon for it. All-time Clipper poster dunk, I got to go with Blake Griffin on Kendrick Perkins. I think that was a famous one. Blake Griffin on Aaron Baines in the playoffs twice in a row. I was there. Electric. Staples Center was roaring. That was one of the greatest. Such a fun game I went to. Yeah, I don't know. What are the excuses for Bulls fans? I'm good, Maxwell. No, he's not, J Love. Do you know? I mean, I don't think you love the history of basketball. I just don't know how you can see that. Who's second then? That's really what you think? I don't know how you can. Like, I'm not even a Jordan guy like that. I don't know how you can watch him play and think that anybody after Jordan is better. Like, I just don't think anybody. It's insane to think that to me. Insane. But everybody sees the game differently. THT has good potential. I mean, he has tunnel vision sometimes, though. He needs to learn how to, make better decisions on the run. He makes really good drop-offs, kickouts. Sometimes he has a problem. And his off-ball defense and his jumper need a bit of work. But he's got a lot of potential, man. He's got great one-on-one moves. He's really good at taking guys off the dribble and beating the man. Of course, that's hard to guard people without hand checking, but he's got that handle, and he can get people to the rim. So, no, Johnny, stop with the devil's advocate. You know how I don't like the stats, okay? I would keep the same energy with any player. It just so happens that what I say reflects in the games, and your boy does it for us. I don't have to do it. So stop. You're not his attorney, okay? You're a fanboy. Anyway, I criticized my player last night so much. So, you guys are so soft when you guys, start bitching. I said LeBron played me. I said he's number one in my MVP ladder right now. Relax. Goat man. Yeah, that's him. Clippers ideal seed and first round matchup. Ideal seed is the first seed, but it's likely out of question. I just think we should take it one game at a time. And there's no ideal anything. It's just get a top 3 seed. Don't finish below the Suns. And then we're going to play a tough team in the first round regardless. This is the West. Of the top 10 players, there's no top 10 players playing right now except for LeBron. LeBron is the only player that's playing that's a top 10 player of all time right now. And, yeah. Okay, just like regular season losses, Edgar Rowe, for the Bulls? I feel you on that. It's in Orozco about the lack of fans giving the refs confidence. They need to get more pressure on them by getting fans getting mad. THC had a sweet jumper tonight, but we know that's not consistent. But that's great. THC. Healthy Nets versus healthy Sixers. I got Nets in 7. I just don't think that Joel Embiid. I'd put my money on a trio of stars like that than Embiid, even as great as he's been. Especially this injury just hurts that. Yo, if we get that George Hill, I'll be so hyped. I've been saying it since what? The beginning. I said it since the offseason. Nice. Greatest power forward ever, Tim Duncan. Would I trade Lou Williams, Zubats, and Reggie for Lonzo? Honestly, at this point, why not? It gives us something to look forward to in the future. Okay, super old team. You said it again. Are you Reggie? Are you Jackson Hayes' burner or something? What's good with you? No, stop. No, see, this is what you LeBron fans do. You try to blame Westbrook for doing what he does, but you don't keep the same energy because they're different players. Stop. You know what? I'm just going to ignore you, Johnny, because you're an excuse maker. And all bronsexuals are it by nature. They are. Who cares? Let him get his. You care too much. But no, I can say whatever the fuck I want. This is my show. You tune in. And I was taught that you don't care about your stats. The greatest winner of all time gave 0 shits about his stats. And that's the reason he has the most rings. Anyway. Sixers over Nets. Come on, don't feel peer pressure. They got all the answers for them. I don't know about that, bro. There's a Glenn Rivers team. I don't know. What do the Clips need to improve upon? Other than being consistent, communicating on defense. I think Kawhi and Paul George need to take challenges more defensively. And I think we need to, keep the ball moving down the stretch of games. And when teams switch everything, Kawhi needs to try to take people off the burst. Paul George needs to go up stronger, not get go up stronger, not looking to get fouled, looking to score, and then it'll come. But yeah. You're talking right now, William. You're literally talking right now. I don't like you. And that's no question. I don't know. They just have I don't know, man. I don't have confidence in the Sixers. Where does Steph rank all time? You guys know I don't have an all-time ranking. So you guys are asking rhetorical questions. Clippers need a leader. I think Kawhi's a leader. I just don't think he's a vocal leader. We need a vocal leader. I think Steph isn't necessarily a vocal leader, but he's got Draymond there, and he's always had that. We need somebody like that. That's what we lack. Old man Riverwalk. Goran Dragic would be great, but that's not realistic. How the Clips going to fix their late game execution? It's really all about Kawhi and Paul George beating guys off the dribble. Teams switch everything. You got to be able to go one-on-one and score. Kawhi needs to get in the post. He settles too much at the top of the key. Get in the post. You're a great post player. They fronting you in the post, turn. Or, other guys got to swing the ball. I don't know, man. I don't know how many of these young guns I like and how much I don't like. There's some really great young players and talents. No, he's not the better player. That's a very casual take about Kevin Garnett. He's not better than Tim Duncan. Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan can give you low post, mid post, everything at a high level. KG mostly loves that turnaround, but he's not a bully. Tim Duncan could bully you. He can beat you with finesse, and that's why Tim Duncan's game, after he was out of his prime, was still a beast. And defense is extremely underrated, and I don't think Pop would be anything without him, quite frankly. Bill Russell, yes. I mean, I don't think he's toxic. I think it's only toxic when the game's in question and he's doing it, Johnny. So I'm just making a point. I can't make a point with you guys. That's the thing. 11 rings, baby. That's so funny, Showtime, Nick. Um, Healthy Nets versus healthy Lakers. 7-game series. Who wins? Got Lakers in 7. Thanks, Michael Todd. I got you. Now Trez looks awful. Needs to brush his teeth. I remember that, William, but you backtracked it. Why didn't you keep it, man? I wanted to see you deleted your tweet. You bitched out about it. I don't know what do you mean Lakers get a big man? Like another one? I don't think it'll be over necessarily. Like a real rim protector, I guess. Should be, but it's all about AD and how he comes back. Yes, I agree with your assessment, NATO. Derek Fisher was also a leader as well. Yes. No, I don't watch Undisputed. It lowers my brain cells. I just see the clips on Twitter. And it, once again, is part of the agenda that pushing the LeBron Jordan debate and making people think that that's the only two people that should be in it. And it's so stupid. No, he was not. You guys are out here sleeping on Tim Duncan. I wouldn't say he's getting old. I just think he's losing some burst, Michael Barnes, about Kawhi. All right, Bill Russell's not a top 10 of all time is where I end the stream. All right. I'm out of here. No, I mean, the greatest and the best are two separate things, but a lot of them of the top 10, I think the top 10 players are still the best. They are still the best. I think it gets a little different with certain guys, but those top 10 players are still the best players to ever play basketball. Every single one. And if you don't think so, you don't know enough about them. I don't know. If you want Hakeem over Shaq, though, could listen to that. But anyway, that's it. I don't care, Super Dolteen. No, I don't run two. First of all, you guys are getting murked. You guys are little kids. 2-on-2. Anyway, peace. Nah, I don't know. Too many dumb takes. No, he doesn't win 5 like Duncan. That's ridiculous. Yeah, Tim Duncan's winning Kevin Garnett's winning the championship in his second season. Best player on his team. That's why Kevin Garnett got out-rebounded by Pau Gasol. Kobe Bryant had like twice as many rebounds as him in Game 7, bruh. That's the Kevin Garnett you're all talking about. Anyway. No, I'm not sleeping on KG. I love Kevin Garnett. You're sleeping on Tim Duncan, the greatest power forward to ever play, one of the best ever. Easy, bro. What are you talking about? He made his legacy. He made his legacy. They don't make it for him. He's not one of those guys. Anyway, oh my goodness. KG takes that team to a 3-peat. Y'all are deriding Kevin Garnett for making it to one conference finals. Anyway, peace out.